Hey everybody, I'm Belinda Sandor, also known as Rocket Girl. And today on this episode of the Rocket Girl Show, we're going to talk about how to make the most of your networking. Welcome to the Rocket Girl Show, brought to you by the VA Connection. Today we're going to talk about making the most of your networking. A lot of times I hear virtual assistants say, they don't really enjoy networking. And, I have to tell you the truth. I'm not a huge fan of walking into a room of strangers myself and trying to, sell them something. So I want to talk to you today about how you can look at networking through a new lens. So the first thing is, I want you to think about, I want you to stop thinking about networking as hunting down clients, okay? If you make that small shift, that will be huge. Really what you're trying to do, or what I'm trying to do, is create relationships, right? Create relationships. I almost think of it as like work friendships, because that takes all of the ick off of it, because you're not trying to whip out some elevator pitch and get them to hire you, right? You're meeting people, you're building relationships. And like I said, I think of it as finding business friends who sometimes become personal friends. So I want you to try to shift how you're thinking about it. The other thing I want you to acknowledge is that going to a networking event is an investment. Like, you're putting on your clothes and you're doing your hair and you're pulling yourself together. You might be driving somewhere, getting out of the car, the whole thing. So don't think of it as, I don't want you to think of it as like a passive event. I want you to think about it proactively and kind of have a strategy when you're there to get the most out of it. And I want you to have fun as well. Okay, so let's walk through some steps that I'd like to plan into your thinking about networking. All right, so the first one is, I want you to connect with the people in the room. And what I mean by that is, it's really easy to stand on the sidelines and not talk to people or not feel like you have anything to say. I know, because like I said, I'm in the car. If I'm going to in person, it's a little different on Zoom for me. But when I'm in the car and I think, okay, let's go get them, I have to have a little talk with myself, because like I said, walking to a room of a bunch of people, even people I like, it's a little overwhelming for me. Okay. So you want to connect with the people in the room. Find someone that you know, especially if they're talking to someone that you don't know. And it can be kind of awkward to walk up to two people who are talking, but just, walk up to them. You don't necessarily interrupt them. And in a moment or two, one of them will look at you and you can say, hi, is it all right if I join the conversation? I don't think we've met, right? Shake their hand or whatever, however you want to handle that. But the thing is that you want to try to stick yourself out of your comfort zone just a little bit, but you're still with someone you know, right? One of my friends said he likes to go to networking events a little early. I've never tried this, but the key to coming in early is that you're one of the first people there. And when there's only 2 or 3 people, normally people will speak to each other. So I think that's a good tip as well. I'm not usually organized enough to do that, but that's a way to handle it as well. The other thing I want you to do is I want you to follow up with the people you meet. And here's what I mean. So if you're connecting in the room and there is someone that you like, I'm only suggesting that you keep in touch with people that you like and not prospecting at all, because you never know who knows who, right? So it's important to spend time with people you like, and then they'll be able to refer you. Okay. So when I say follow up, let's say there's this like really cool person, maybe the speaker or someone you sat next to and you thought, I really like them, they're kind of cool. And you get their card, follow up with an email. I really enjoyed meeting you. Can we grab a cup of tea, or can we grab a cup of Zoom tea, or whatever it is? But just, if this feels completely uncomfortable, I get it. Take a big, inhale, big breath, and just do it with one person, okay? And see how it feels. So you want to create these relationships. The other thing you can do, and this is much more passive than actually reaching out to them, but connect with them on social media. send them a friend request, send them a LinkedIn request, follow them on Instagram. So that way they'll be in front of you more often, and you'll be in front of them, and it will be easier to stay in touch with them. Okay. That's if you're really not ready for the, reach out, definitely do the social media, realizing it's much more passive than reaching out and being proactive, but it's a good first step. Okay. The other thing is, if you're meeting in person, I want you to have your business card ready. Like, don't be that person that I used to be, which is I have this big purse. The cards are at the bottom. The inside of the purse is black. The card holder is black. I can't find it. I have to tear my whole life apart in front of this person who I'd like them to think I'm not, insane. So have a little a place where your cards are all the time, where you can just whip it out, like boom. Okay. So I want you to do that. And then the other thing is, I want you to have a logical next step for them. And what I mean by a logical next step is, I want you to be able to have a way that they can get on your calendar. So you're chit-chatting and they say, I could really use some help with whatever it is, in their business. And you can say very casually, hey, if you want, I'll send you a link to my calendar, or on the bottom of every page of my website is a way to get on my calendar for 30 minutes. I love talking to business owners. I'd love to hear more about what you're up to. No pressure, no salesy, none of that. Now, there's one more thing that's really important that just popped into my head, and that is, you want to be able to clearly talk about your work. All right. Because if you can't talk about your work clearly and you're networking, people are going to leave just thinking, okay, she was a nice person, but you do want people to know what you do. So here's what I say. I'm a virtual assistant. I work with solo professionals and small business owners. I act as their, I do admin work for them, like PowerPoint presentations, website updates, and email newsletters. And then the famous stop talking, right? You don't want to overwhelm them. You don't want to keep talking so that, you're trying to say the thing in the moment to get hired. What you're trying to do is create relationships. Okay. It's that simple. Now, if you don't know how to do that, if you don't know how to clearly articulate what you're doing, I want you to sign up for my next challenge. Okay. The VA Client Kickstart Challenge. You can find it on Facebook. You can find it in our big Facebook group, which I'm going to tell you about in a minute. Sign up for it. It's a 5-day free training. On the second day, is that true? Yep. On the second day, I'm going to teach you how to talk about your work so that people will turn into referral engine. It happens all the time, and I want to help you with that. Okay. So networking is important. I want you to think about these key things, go in with a strategy, and, connect with people, try to make some business friends, be clear about what you do, be able to articulate it. All right. Now, in the meantime, if you are not a member of my free online classroom, the Virtual Assistant Connection on Facebook, I would love for you to go over to the Virtual Assistant Connection, click the join button, and come on in. We've got tons of trainings just like this one. We have all kinds of information. And the best part about the whole thing is the community. The people in the community are helpful, smart, wonderful people from all over the world. We have over 20,000 members in 47 countries. And I'd love for you to be a part of that and have the benefit of that. If you're watching us on YouTube, please click the subscribe button so you'll know when we go live. The Rocket Girl Show is every Thursday at 10 o'clock a.m. Eastern. I'd love for you to put it in your calendar, and be sure to come see the next episode next Thursday. Until then, I'm Belinda Sandor signing off. Bye-bye.